Good evening. Sean Higgs coming at you here. We'll look at lines for next Sunday NFL, week number 5. Look at this guy hanging out nice and early, jumping into the chat when I was loading up the lines. Lines scrolling on the bottom because they don't fit. They don't fit up top. It happens. I was writing them in, and then I realized I had to go back to watch the previous episode. I'm like, what did I do here? How did I do it? I'm like, that's right. It did not fit. So I had to move it around. And sometimes I'll do the adding of picks and free picks like that in the previous broadcast. I don't know. Because you come in, start the broadcast, and all some people know you're here. Whatever. Hey, Francisco, how are you? Welcome. Roll into halftime. I said, you know what? Maybe I don't remember what time I did it last week, whether it was during the game or halftime, before halftime, after halftime. I don't even know. Tyreek, what do you say? King D's here. I'm not here. Don't mind me. I don't see you. I took the under in the Patriot game. I got to say, I like the over. I did not bet the over. I didn't bet it. I put it here in the chat, and I saw the weather was a little sketchy. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to play it. And I'm glad I didn't even touch this game. I had the Patriots -5 early. We'll see what happens there. Nigga, we're 2 minutes just getting home. Awesome. I sent the guys a link on Twitter. You guys out partying. Elliot's in the house. Francisca, thumbs up for the llama. I appreciate it. My New York team's kicked my butt today. I'm all over the place with my my notes here. So in the show, what do we do today? We had Bears winner, Colts money line winner, Giants winner, Denver under winner. That's 4 wins. Jets under didn't get there. Giants under didn't get there. We hit the teaser. We hit the Tuesday teaser winner. Falcons +8, Giants 15, Arizona +13. Now, that being said, we'll get to the lines in a second. I'll tell you how I did this week. So I thought I had some good numbers. Who am I kidding? I did have good numbers. I got Tampa Bay -5. I had Tennessee -5. I had over 49.5 in San Francisco. Kansas City 6.5. Pick 'em on Cleveland. Green Bay 6.5. Rams. I went Rams because everybody was betting Arizona, and I had to go opposite of that. That was a loser. Dallas under, and I didn't take Dallas. I don't know why I didn't. If I'm going under, I'm thinking Dallas is going to win that 28-10 or something. And I had Seattle money line. So that's where I was at. Jets, I said in the chat here today, if you're taking the Jets or the Eagles or those teams, you had to go all the way. You had to go all in. You couldn't just half-ass it, right? You couldn't just go halvesies with it. And the Jets got it done. Eagles didn't get it done. Giants got it done. New England, maybe they get it done. We'll see. Richie P's here. A good day for King D. New England +7, money line +240. Again, like I said, if you're taking the Jets and New England and Philly and even the Giants, because I think you got to lump the Giants into that because everybody's going to be on the Saints lane just a touchdown or whatever. It was like taking Mississippi. If you think the team's going to hang tough, take them on the money line. Already hit the like. Thank you for hitting the like button. Elliot, I try. I'll take it. You know, for me, I've been having a lot of break-even kind of days, right? Record-wise, it is what it is, but making money on the year in the sport or day-to-day, I'm doing okay because I kind of like things more than I like others, So I know how to bet my games. Am I upset? I have Tampa, Tennessee at 2 good numbers. If they go down, they go down. It happens. What am I going to do? But I was happy with my Cleveland play. I ended up grabbing some Bears. I said I like the Bears today. Colts money line. I said I was with you, King. See him. We rolled them up in the chat today. I was all over Indy with you. A lot of people took Jets in Seattle. This San Fran team, and then we'll talk about this in a second. We'll jump into Rams in Seattle coming up, and then we got San Fran is against Arizona. I'm going to grab Arizona at 4. After the show here, I'm jumping on Arizona. I had the Jets. Good win on that, Mr. Degenerate. That is a good. Listen, I took Tennessee, and as the game day comes, and you realize they're missing 3 wide receivers or whatever the case may be. All right, I'm a little worried, but Tannehill still is going to chuck the ball around. The Jets have been having trouble scoring all year, and I got a running back who is a rhinoceros running through houses made out of clay. So I mean, I wasn't really worried about that at 5. Even going up to 7, came back down a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm not high on the Jets. I wasn't high on the Jets to start the year. I thought the Jets, the Jags, and the Lions would be fighting for the worst teams in the NFL, and I stand hold to that. Arizona looks pretty good. They do. And I said in my little write-up when I wrote about taking the Rams, I'm like, McVay has owned Kingsbury. Like it's not even close. It's just been big wins for the Rams. So it is what it is. Oh, look who's down here. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. I didn't see you down there, fella. I'm sorry.
All good.
We have a visitor tonight, folks. I got Seattle live for 292. Seattle was
when
292. Seattle who? Tell me it's the Seattle Mariners. I mean, did they come back and win? Like, how did you get Seattle plus? That game was
it the Kraken? Like, what are we talking?
When were they plus 292? Were they down 7-0? It was plus 292.
But that's
what book is that? Send me a link, please. Conference play this week in college football. I'm pretty sure it's conference play almost every week.
Yeah.
JD. I don't know. Call me crazy. We just had a conference game between Arkansas and Georgia and Syracuse, and Niners going to look good next week. I don't know. I don't want to bet at this point. And I was talking to another guy who's in the biz here, folks. And now I'll let our guest jump in here. And he's got a Patriots shirt on. What the heck's that about? So I was talking to I mentioned Kyle Hunter, a friend of mine. He's been in business for a while, and we're talking shop a little bit. I was telling him, I said, usually September's are a slow start for me. I'm kind of like a dog guy. I sometimes I'll bet a fave here and there, but I usually have to like a rough start because I'll do something on an ugly team. Although not today, like on the Jets, but I usually come out a little bumpy. But I said I have to really start readjusting last year and even this year, based on the fact that with sports betting legal in half the country, and back in the day, like the degenerate guy he'd be a real degenerate. Like if there's 1,000 people watching a podcast, 980 of them never had a illegal bookmaker. They're just new to betting. Mm-hmm. So I have to kind of like adjust my whole rationale when I think of like what the public's on or a public dog in this app, because now I have cats on ESPN and Fox and CBS and NBC and 800 other stations here between Sports Grid and Action Network and BetQL and Visa. You have people doing what we do come out and say, this is why we like a dog, or why we're kind of like going to go against the dog and take a favor. Now the money is totally skewed. The lines are totally skewed. Like I'm thinking I'm good at 5. The line goes to 7 and I still lose. Hey, you're going to lose on good numbers sometimes, but at least you lose on a good number. I mean, there's nothing you can say about it. I mean, I don't know. I got to get that right now. It's like, for me, hey, I don't know. You're the new cats coming in. You're the young 20-somethings rolling into place. I got to readjust thinking I got half the country betting games that, because Lee Corso puts a mascot hat on. And again, I always joke about that. Like, who's waiting? I don't wait to game time to put bets in, but something I got to do, and I noticed it last year in my NFL. It was like I had, 9 of 12 winning seasons or something, or 11 to 13. And the one losing season, it was a winning record, but I was like a little over, you got to get that 54%, 53%, 52 and a half. If people will be like, he doesn't even know what he needs to win. Folks, listen, it's do it for 20 years, quit your job and start doing it. We'll see how good you are. Believe me, I'm hanging tough. Go ahead. I'm done talking.
Quit your job, do it full time, and put all your plays out there for everybody to see, and then see how you do. Because people who do it like me and you do, where we come out here, we say, this is what we like, this is what we're betting, And that leaves you extremely open for ridicule if you're wrong one week. Because in this business, God forbid you go 2-5 one day, like and the world's crumbling down. So yeah, I totally understand what you're getting at there.
I see Corey Jones checking in. Corey, I mentioned this morning. I said you were the last guy jumping into the contest, and right now you're 4-0 because you had Seattle today. You are 4-0, my friend. I think there's only 2 4-0s left. Because here, Dr. Ward took a loss on San Fran. Stimmy's alive at 4-0. Stimmy's 4-0. Who's this guy? Barry's in. Barry's in at 4-0. And you, Corey, 4-0. 4-0. And you know what? 2 guys have Vegas and 1 has LA. So looks like we'll be carrying on to next week if Vegas wins. Richie P coming in. Bears, Bills, Cards, Cowboys, Giants, Ravens, Packers, Seattle. All right. Here we go. We got a lot of talk going on here. Seattle for next week. You live bet Seattle plus 292. All right, hey.
I was on the Niners today. That one was not a fun game.
Yeah, I marinated myself. King D's rolling on Air Force -4. I did bet a couple early lines. I got Alabama 14.5. I got Iowa at 1. I did get Ole Miss at 6, but it went to 5, so that's not a good number. Yeah. Who won the picks? Corey, you're hanging tough. You're 4-0 with 2 other guys. You're in that. Titans only out. That's a rough one. I mean, people, as I said earlier today, Richie, I said, if you're going to take the Jets, I hope you had to take the Eagles. You had to take the Patriots. Who was another one everybody's on? Probably the Giants, right? Steelers. Yeah. Steelers was another one that went down. People were probably like, oh. And I'm all for that.
Yeah.
No way. Green Bay.
Those were a bunch of teams I was on.
Go the other way. Green Bay going back to go. If you're not taking them all, you can't pick and choose. If you pick and choose, you end up losing, right? You're going, I had the Jets, or you took Pittsburgh, you didn't take the Jets, or you took the Eagles, you didn't take, money line something, you at least almost break even on it.
Exactly. Yeah, those sound like a bunch of teams that I was on today. I liked the Jets all week long. I was looking at the Jets. And then when we're doing our circa picks, Craig put in the Titans, and one of my rules is I don't bet against our circa team because that contest is very important to me. I don't want to be betting against plays that we're putting in as a contest there. So yeah, I was looking at the Jets. I did have the Steelers. I did have the Eagles. That was my circa pick, was the Eagles. Yeah, it was one of those type of days though. So yeah.
At least you stuck with who you can't just go one. You pick and choose. That's why there's some days, like the last 2 days in baseball, as bad as my base, I was 9 games under baseball. The last 2 days, I bet like 15 games, and I'm back to like 15 games under. Because I'm coming in with 7, 8 games because I'm taking the Orioles every game this series. Like I'm like, all I need is one when you get 3-1 and 4-1. They couldn't get it. It happened. Yeah, it is. But, San Fran run line because I don't want to lay big numbers. I had Tampa Bay all 3 games in the series. Seattle run lines. You can't pick and choose. The guys on TV are dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You have guys on TV and
that are paid to do it,
and some of the other channels, pod people, whatever. Yeah, they're broadcasters, folks. They're not sports. Some are sports bettors. There's guys
at McAfee.
He's a better. But again, you have guys who bet, but he. Just because you played sports doesn't mean Like, listen, I like the VSiN guys. Those guys. Listen, Paulie Gill. These guys have been a long time. Those guys are, they are TV guys or whatever, but they've been around for a long time. Teddy Covers, and usually, and yes. People in the chat, I don't throw out a lot of names. People, I don't like to bring guys in. Those guys have been around a long time. It's not like it's ESPN guys rolling in or Fox, and they're just, hey, this is who we have today. And here comes Michael Irvin with his picks on like the NFL Network. Dude, I threw it up there Thursday night, NFL Network. They'll come in with you're an ex-player or you went to school for broadcasting. You might be I'm going to bet. All right, you're going to bet because you're just, we know how that is. That's the average play. That's the Joe Public plays. Mr. DeGenerate, bet 1 hour before on most NFL bets.
Maybe if you're waiting for the line to move a certain way, maybe. But I already have 8 plays or 6 plays in for college this week. I'm going to start looking at NFL tonight. Like I don't wait till the end of the week to bet stuff. Like
I feel like if you're gonna bet it, I grab early. You get a good number. Maybe the number moves. What's changing your mind short of a quarterback on it? Like exactly. Some people short of like, Lamar's hurt. He might not play today. I'm like, whoa, that kind of I don't really want to get involved in the Ravens right now, but I still like the under, but he ended up playing, I believe. So,
yeah.
If you're waiting, it's good, it's bad. I get him in. I'm not, college basketball comes. If you're not betting the NCAA tournament on a Sunday for Thursday, you're losing a lot of value.
Yes.
I quit my job, and it's been hard. Yeah, bro, it's definitely not easy, King D.
Everyone thinks
that was King D coming. It's Mr. Degenerate being a pro.
Everyone thinks, oh, it's a great life. All you do is wake up and bet sports. How can it's more difficult than people think it is, and there's tons of hours that do go behind just sitting in front of a camera and giving plays out.
Yeah, it's nonstop. It is, and that's why I tell people I get to King D here. He's rolling out why he loves Air Force this week. I love it, King D. Lock it in with King D. It's gonna be a show.
I like Air Force too. I already looked at this game. I had this game power ranks Air Force -7.5. So at -4, I think that's a good play. I had that one highlighted as one I want to bet.
Did they cover this weekend? I know Craig, I think, gave that out on the.
I did. I had Air Force this weekend. They covered the 11.5. I want to say in their game. I'm trying to remember who they did play Air Force. I don't remember who they played, but they dominated them.
The last Woodies are beating the pros. They went circle 4-1 today.
We need to collaborate more on our plays rather than just picking them like a draft.
I'm 3-1 on my circa pick, so I'm doing my share.
Yeah, my brother and I, we've had 3 heartbreaking losses, and then the Eagles.
Jake hasn't made it. Hopefully tomorrow. Jake who? Jake Paul?
Guy's a bum.
Can't trust those who never met the up. Exactly. I come on and people are like, oh, this guy. Like someone said, I was going through the comments. I try to always get to my YouTube comments I do the free pick for winning free bet. I throw a video out every night. And I'm like, give me the Bears today. I like it. It's for whatever reason. And I thought Foles was playing. I had Fields on. I said, someone's like, oh, a hunch play. This is a loser. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, folks, if you you have to play hunches. I don't know. Maybe you don't. That's good for you. My whole life, I kind of think something's going to happen. I'm going to play it. But
exactly. I had a hunch with the Cardinals World Series bet.
You just can't go straight to numbers. That doesn't work. You got to bring in a little human element to it. Wait for some games, not all. I understand. For me, I get them in, and that's it. I bet it. Forget it. I'm not saying. Sometimes I bet games? Sometimes. I didn't have live TV. I would stream. For the last 10 years, I didn't have cable. I had internet. That's it. That's just not what I do, bro. I bet my games. I'm old school. There's a lot of new stuff. And I've said this when we started the podcast. You know this. We talked about it. First fives, player prop strike.
I love first fives.
It's all new stuff to me because I'm used to making money one way. And I got to roll the punch and start making. Have I made some money? Has it saved as much as I'm down, I think 12 games now in baseball. I'm not even sure. But has it made me a winning season as opposed to getting crushed? Absolutely, because I'll jump in every once in a while and get a play. Small league to you. We're not talking. We even get the NFL yet. 3 days.
I can talk college. I've already done most of I've already looked at most games, and I've kind of handicapped them a little bit. So
he's got Toledo versus Northern Illinois here.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember what time that game is. I have like a whole.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, I have Toledo. You said -12.5. Yeah, I had that game power ranked at -15.5. So I see a little value on Toledo.
Air Force, good pick.
And I just bet the Air Force. There we go. They're live on Higgs show. I bet the Air Force -4. There you guys go.
Baseball is Tuesday. Yanks are about a 115 favorite over Cole over Evaldi in Boston.
And then I'm going to probably be looking at the Cardinals +200 in the first 5 innings.
Yeah, Wainwright and Mad Max. Let me tell you, I looked at their numbers, and Wainwright faced the Dodgers once this year. 8 1/3 inning, he took the loss. I'm like, oh, look at this. He got shelled this year. No, that's a game he had a no-hitter and gave up 4 runs in the 9th inning, I think. Yeah. If memory serves you right, he had a no-hitter and ended up giving up a couple runs in the bottom of the 9th or whatever, top of the 9th. So
Adam Wainwright's found a fountain of youth there in St. Louis. I don't know what it is. And this is something that I've noticed with Cardinals.
A fountain of steroids, did he find?
That maybe. I don't know.
Barry Bonds is the new pitching coach? What do you Mark McGwire?
I don't know.
Gary Sheffield rubbing a cream on his arm.
I swear, the Cardinals are one of those teams where they can have a mediocre season and pull a horseshoe out of their ass and make the playoffs. Like, that's the type of team they are. That's why I put a bet on them. I have a great chance to hedge myself because I got 55-1 on the Cardinals to win the World Series. I bet that in the beginning of September.
I remember we talked about it in the show. I said, because that's a team, even when I said at the beginning of the year, tomorrow, there's not much to talk about tomorrow. I'll go over my season picks with everybody. I said, I'm not a big Cardinal guy. I think they're a great organization. They always kind of be in it. But for up until July, they were not in it. They were just kind of there.
They're not.
Then they bring in Lester and Happ and make a move.
Maybe they know a little bit more than we do.
Sean Earl, good evening. How are you today, Luke? All right, let's talk some NFL lines. So I got them scrolling on the bottom because they do not fit in the chat, but I'll break it up a little bit. We're going to start Thursday night. You can start chatting about it. We got Rams, basically pick them, and a 53 spot. You go ahead. I'm going to bring up the banners. I'm going to switch it around a little bit so we can have them on top underneath us.
Yeah, initially looking at this one here, I have this game power ranked Rams -1.5. It's a -1, so I think that this line's pretty spot on. It's Thursday night, so Tim and I will probably come out with something just to have something on Thursday night. It'll probably be the Rams. I see that this is probably a nice little spot here, a bounce back spot for the Rams after losing today against the Cardinals. I did have the Cardinals +4.5 and +180 in that game. It is in Seattle though, so I still have to look a little bit more into this game. But currently, it's a small lean towards the Rams. I see around a half a point of value on this game, but I'll have to reevaluate it in the next couple of days. But it would be a lean towards LA in this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely would be on the Rams here. You just got humiliated at home. Now we look at it, letdown spot, yeah. But as I mentioned before the show, I came in late on the Rams yesterday thinking, you know what, the world's going to be on Arizona. Kyler Murray MVP, but he hadn't really played well. Kingsbury against McVay is just a total mismatch in my eyes. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to take the 4.5 here as opposed to the 6. It opened up high. It was like 5.5, 6. I'm like, Arizona. We go back to the video. I'm sure I said we're going to grab Arizona in the points here because I put it up in the teaser +13. So that's initially where we went. The line comes down. I'm thinking people are pounding it. Maybe I got a shot here because everybody's so high on Kyler Murray. Because I don't know. I'll go back to week 1 where everybody thought, Jameis Winston is coming to town, right? So cross-country flight for them. I'm thinking Rams, home, I'll get it done. Now we get the Rams off a loss. Seattle off a nice big win. And Seattle's a team that, and this is why I kind of had the over. And again, good number on the over 49.5. Doesn't get there. But Seattle's a team. We saw it against Minnesota. They can score 14, 15, 17, get up early, score some points. Whether they're up 17-7 or down 24-7, they're coming back or they're giving up points. Today against San Fran, right? San Fran, I know where scores 21. They shouldn't have scored nothing. They would look terrible, right? And they get some garbage plays. So I'm going to look at the Rams here just as the better team. Probably jump on the over in a short week because that's the way it is. Rams are going to want to be a little crisper after that kind of game. So I'm definitely with you on the Rams here to start.
Yeah.
7-6 halftime.
Loving that. I'm currently on the Patriots here. I got them +7. I've got them +245 for half a unit on the money line. For me, this was just everybody in the world is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, and they're going to obliterate them. I didn't buy into the hype there. I know it's a cardinal sin apparently in NFL betting to bet against Tom Brady, but I also have the Patriots in a couple teasers as well, and I think the Patriots win this game straight up, to be completely honest. And it's a good start there. I'm very happy to see that, even though it's 7-6. That's perfect because I wanted a low scoring game in this one.
Yeah, I got the Pats, as I said. I got my 5.5, good number there. Coming into, I put out the over today thinking if New England has a shot, it's going to have to be a shootout. I'm not thinking this game that they're going to keep this team in check as they have. But you throw some weather in there and you get some nerves. And
Bill Belichick?
Yeah, but, as much as – listen, both of these guys got a lot to prove today. I just think team-wise, Tampa's the better team, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Hands down the better team. And their coach, it's not like a terrible coach. He's a decent coach, right? He's a good coach. Took Arizona Super Bowl. He's not bad. Belichick is Belichick, but this guy's not some dummy. It's not like that. some guy who's going to start doing some bonehead plays with timeouts and nonsense. We got a guy who's a good guy on the sidelines. We'll see what happens. I mean, listen, I'm pulling for it. Did I grab a little under when I saw the way the game started? I did, because I didn't bet the over to start. I'm like, I'm already locked in enough on Tampa at my price. I'm like, now I got to think about, I got to get a little back here. Got to chip away. But here we go. Next game up. Jets and Falcons. I'll jump on this one first here. So Jets are 3.5, total 44. Falcons, I like the Falcons today. I teased them up. I said I like Falcons money line. Why not? Redskin defense, not too good. The Jets.
The Jets.
I didn't see this coming. For me, the 3.5, just like a 7.5, we're going to see down the road. Anytime I see 3.5, 7.5, even 14.5, I'm taking a favorite. I'm taking a fave because I think everyone you're taught, and now again we talked about the public and everybody watching. They're going to think that extra half point is key. Atlanta's desperate right now. They're a dangerous animal at home. They got a new head coach, much like the Jets. But this guy, I think he's expected to win with this quarterback and with his offensive players and kind of a better defense. So I'm going to lean towards Atlanta here, and I'm going to look at the under again. As much as I had the under 8 with the Jets game, I'm going to come back because I think, although I'm a little worried after seeing what I just saw against Tennessee, I can see this playing out the same way. But give me Atlanta here on a 3.5. That's my first initial thought here.
Yeah, I'm on the same page here. I had this game initially handicapped at Atlanta minus 5.5. And I do see a little bit of value here on the Falcons. This will probably be a play. This is a London game. Keep that in mind. So it's really actually a neutral field. Game. That's a 9:30 game, I believe. Eastern Standard Time. That means I have to handicap this game a little bit differently. So I think maybe 3.5 is about right then. But in Atlanta, this would be a 5.5 point spread. I have to redo that. Now I just remembered it's in London. But yeah, I can definitely see an under in this game. Maybe look at a New York Jets team total under. I can see
on the under here in London. It's why do I always think like every time it plays London, it's supposed to have a nasty sloppy grass field. So.
Well, also to keep in mind, they're going across the pond, and their time clocks are going to be completely messed up as well. So it could be a definite spot where you see a slow start out of the gate. So maybe a first half under in this one could be a look as well.
Yeah, under first quarter for sure. Under first half.
Oh yeah, I think at the end of the day, the play for this game would be if we like the Falcons, I'll look at the team total under. If it's a 17.5 with the Jets. Maybe a team total under here with the New York Jets in this spot.
Real fast. Philomena's like in Seattle on Thursday night. Some guy, Tim Earl, I don't know if he knows anything. Yeah. He's like in the Rams on Thursday.
Yeah.
King Dude's on the under tonight. Philomena says the Falcons in London. We got a Tom Brady over completion prop. How's that looking? I mean, I can think he's that going over because he's going to throw these little short. I saw the one play. It was like 3rd and 18 or throwing a screen pass. Like, what is that?
It's you getting some yards to punt.
Hey, no way to just win 2 straight. Like, there's no way the Patriots lose 2 straight. The Buccaneers lose 2 straight, right?
Like, there's no way the Dodgers get swept. There's no way the Yankees get swept. We can do this all day with any sport.
Stimmy is alive for the contest, Stimmy. You are 4-0 heading into your Vegas play on Monday night. Falcons cost you $1,000. That's a rough one. That's especially, you know what the worst about that is that when it's like, there's like a couple seconds left on the clock and you're like praying for like the Hail Mary. Like you have a shot, but you don't have a shot, but you think you have a shot. They're tough pills to swallow. Next game up, we have Miami, 9.5, total of 49.5 in Tampa versus these Buccaneers. Folks, what are we going to do here? Is Tampa going to be looking at 3 straight losses? Can Miami get the back door? Is Miami healthy? Listen, this one here, I would probably look at the under, believe it or not, because if Tampa goes down here, they're going to do the old circle the wagon play. We're here at home. Let's bring the defense, bring the fire. Miami maybe with a backup quarterback, maybe with a not 100% Tua, Taglia turnover quarterbacking. I'm going to look under. I can't lay the 9.5. It would be Miami or nothing here for me.
Yeah, I need to see what happens the rest of this game to really be able to get a more accurate number on this. But my original number before the games today was Tampa Bay minus 12 for this game. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to go through once this game is over and update these numbers a little bit. But my initial thought is laying the 9.5 with Tampa Bay. Maybe a team total under with Miami, especially if Tampa Bay loses today. They, like you said, they'll go back to their play a little bit better defense and then the backup quarterback, as you mentioned. So potentially a team total under for Miami. We've seen their offense has not been particularly great. They lost to the Colts today. I think it was 27-10 in that game, if I'm not mistaken. I had the Colts on a bunch of teasers. That was a nice little one. But yeah, this is a spot where probably after tonight, I'll probably be looking at potentially Tampa Bay in this game. I'm just hoping it's not a letdown spot after a big game against New England.
Yeah, and this initial line out of the gate was 7.5 in the early line day, so a 2-point bump up before we even get an outcome here. Next game up, you get the lead here. Carolina 4-point fave over the Philadelphia Eagles, total of 46.5, and go for it. Lead us off.
Yeah, it's Carolina -4. My power ranking is Carolina -4. I don't really see anything in this game that jumped out to me quite yet. I'll probably look at this game a little bit more throughout the week. But initial thoughts is this one's going to be just a simple pass, most likely for me in this game.
Now, I'm kind of liking Carolina here. This is a spot for the Panthers at home, short number. Listen, Darnold, sometimes guys need to change the scenery, right? I'm waiting for, believe it or not, like, give me Josh Rosen with like an established, like some kind of surrounding. You put a decent, stable surrounding around the quarterback, give him a shot. He never had that in New York. We've seen that running back situation. Obviously, the best players out. But I saw a little bit of this Cowboy game. He looks confident behind the line. He doesn't look scared. He doesn't look like I'm seeing ghosts out here kind of guy like they talk about, right? I mean, the Dallas defense is okay. It's a bend, don't break kind of unit, which is all you really need in the NFL today.
Yep.
This Philly team, again, gets the points in garbage time. I'm not a big fan of Hurts. I don't care. They put up 20 today, right? 20 points, some 30. I don't even know what they put. 30 points,
like something along those lines.
I am not. That does not impress me against Kansas City, who gives up a ton of points. So I'm going to take Carolina here. I might roll this out. This might be one of my better top plays of the week, believe it or not, here in Carolina. I'm like, I love the coach. And again, it's one of those teams like your St. Louis Cardinals. This is a team always been a defensive team. Even going back to the Kerry Collins days, they always brought, I think Sam Mills was on this team back in the day. Like it was it's one of those teams that just is always kind of solid. King D saying the Saints line is 1.5. All right, I got picks across the board. I know it opened to 1. I'm seeing, as the true opener.
I'm seeing 1.
Whoa. The true opener was 1.5, but I'm seeing picks across the board right now. So, New Orleans and a Washington football team pick, or if New Orleans is favored by 1, I'm definitely not liking New Orleans if they're favored on the road. Dome team on the road, I'm not having it. Total of 43. That's all I gotta say. Winston on the road. I know he's a grass quarterback and outdoor guy, but the team is built for the Dome, and this is Washington, and who knows what it'll be like second week in October. Could be a muddy field, could be rain. I don't know. Hello, Northeast. I don't know what it's going to be like, but give me Washington at home here in a pick. I think they got a nice little confidence booster there today, believe it or not. So maybe, the defense needs all the help it could get. Maybe Winston coming in here, throwing some picks will help them out.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this game, though, I obviously have to look. I'm going to look deeper into this game as the week goes along. It's an initial lean towards New Orleans, actually. I had New Orleans -4.5 in this one. I just think they're the overall better football team. But I'm going to have to readjust those numbers. This was before today's games, where probably I'll be bumping them down a point or two after today's loss, because that was an ugly loss to the Giants, giving the Giants – I know you had the Giants first – there's the first win of the year. So, I mean, that's not a good look if you're the Saints. So that number is probably going to drop for me, the 4.5. Probably drop down to like 3.5, 2.5, or something along those lines. I have to look in this game a little bit more, look what the weather is going to be doing there, to see the field conditions and stuff like that. But initially, it's a lean towards New Orleans. I'm not super high on this Washington team right now. I did have Atlanta teased up in a couple parlays today. So
I think if you're going to bet New Orleans, grab them the pick, because everyone's going to remember what they saw, right? So the money's going to come in today and tomorrow. It's going to be on New Orleans. It's going to be, here comes the smarter, sharp money's going to come in. We saw New Orleans look like crap. We saw the Redskins pull out a good win and score a bunch of points, and they're gonna get all that nonsense. I think the money's gonna come in Carolina, and I think it'll be a 1.5. Won't shock me.
Yeah.
Next up, Tennessee Titans 3.5, a total of 48.5, and this total was actually a 2.5er. And then before this game actually changed today with the news of losing a couple wide receivers, it was 7.5 on Saturday.
Now down to a 4 on my book.
You got a 4. I see some 3.5s out there. Again, listen. You're new to Lookahead. So we're just kind of throwing out a number here, looking around. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect.
You're all good. I was just saying that the number I was looking at my book was a 4 in this game.
I have 1-4, but I got 3.5s at like 3 other spots. The Circa's got 4. Everything else I see is 3.5s.
Yeah. My book's saying 4, but yeah, that's usually just the one I look at. And
what do you think?
I'm seeing -4, and I had this game power ranked Tampa Bay. I'm looking at the wrong game here. Tennessee -4.5. So I see a 0.5 point lean towards the Titans here. I was joking around with my brother earlier in the day after they lost to the Jets. I'm like, watch, Jacksonville is going to get their first win next week against the Titans because the Titans are going to be handing out first wins. Here you go. But no, it'll be probably a lean towards Tennessee, even on the road against Jacksonville. I think they'll be able to get their run game going. This Jaguars team is still not a team I am lining up to back. I know they looked halfway decent against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is still a team where the jury's still out on them. We don't know.
Team with a head coach who's not that good.
Yeah, so this is still a Jacksonville team where until they win a game, I don't really want to back them. And I need them to show me something first. It'd be a lean towards the Titans in this one, just by like 0.5 point or so. But yeah, it would be probably an initial lean towards the road favorite.
I agree. Listen, everybody remember Tennessee losing this game, choking it away, bad, and you got the Jags off of a Thursday night game, extra rest. People are like, oh, they could have won that game. I don't know. Listen, 3.5 Tennessee. I just think they're better. And again, and then we got the whole Urban Meyer getting like lap dances. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe the owner don't care, but I'm sure so that dude's got to be getting grief at home. Like, hey, listen, my wife's pretty laid back. If she like saw me, if I'm sitting somewhere and some girl's on my lap and I'm not kind of like at least and pretending to shoo her away, I think I got a problem on my hands. I don't know. What's he thinking? Like what? I mean, how? Anybody in the chat who
Florida man
got a serious relationship or married, and some girl's just leaning on you.
I'm out of that. I can't answer.
You just kind of like make it seem like you're not interested, or just kind of like roll your eyes a little bit. And you're not. Is he that hammered? He doesn't even know somebody's videotaping him.
Maybe.
I don't know. I got my head on a swivel all the time looking. I mean, like how aren't you paying attention to your surroundings, Urban? I got a feeling the heart problem's coming back pretty soon. Detroit +8 against the Vikings, total of 49 in Minnesota off a 14-7. Listen, Zinn had to get back to defense, boy. They brought back some defense here for Cleveland and Minnesota. Holy cow. Old coach going against his old staff, 14-7. And then Detroit. Thank you, Detroit. I told Detroit exactly what I thought they were going to do. Lay an egg on the road here against the Bears. Now another division opponent, getting a big number. But is this good enough for the back door here on the road? I don't know. Is Minnesota look crisp in their first couple games? They lost games based on missed field goal, a fumble, stupidity. Losing to the Cleveland Browns is not a bad loss.
No.
Not one bit. Laying 8, I might lay it here in Minnesota.
I'm on the same page here. Detroit, I'm sorry, Lenny, if you're watching this, it's not a team I'm looking to back, and I have a feeling that Detroit's going to finish with the worst record in the NFL this season. I had this game power ranked to Minnesota -11. If there's ever a time I want to back Minnesota, it's off a loss at home where against a bad Detroit team. I mean, this is we saw it today. I mentioned it on Friday on Pick the Lock with the Bears getting a nice little bounce back spot against the Detroit Lions
Yep.
defense. Guess what? Minnesota gets that same treatment this week, and I think they capitalize on this one. I'll probably be looking at Minnesota either minus the 8 or probably a team total, probably over 26.5 or something along those lines, whatever it may be. So this would probably be a team total overplay for Minnesota for me. And potentially this one probably would be one of my bigger plays of the week. I really like the Vikings in this spot. I
agree. Tennessee locking in off the disappointing loss. Look for a bounce back. I think so. I mean, Vrabel sometimes he's a little iffy for me. He can't get a defense in check, but the Jags I'm not very high on. Why are we watching that? Sif Brady. Well, that was the game plan. We're going to come in for halftime and talk some lines ahead. But who cares? I'm not worried about Brady. You know what I'm worried about? The final score.
Yeah, I was going to scoreboard watch. That's about it.
I can't change it. I'm going to go, I had the game on just so I could listen when halftime was coming. Otherwise, I told you I'm rewatching Lost and I'm watching Terra Nova. So that's
Lost. Nice.
Yeah. We got smiley faces from Richie P and Tim this had to be when we're talking about Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Wilhelmina says Vikings over this week. You know what? I'm not going to talk you off the Vikings over Wilhelmina. Yeah. No way. I mean, I think Minnesota's going to score. Detroit can score. They score garbage time. They give up points. So over for sure. We got a Patriots fumble apparently.
Yeah.
This game is boring. Yeah, rainy day. I mean, come on.
It's rainy. It's sloppy as all hell.
Yeah, we're working. We're working, gang, right? Tell them.
Exactly.
Although I'm glad 44. Listen, 44, he's every day on my YouTube, he's commenting multiple. Hey, I kind of like this. Why do you like this? So I'm glad he popped into the chat. We'll work during the days and come in. So the fact that he popped in tonight, he's like, what's this guy doing? He's not even watching the games. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
44, we lock it in, and you watch my shows. You bet it and forget it, and that's the end.
Exactly.
I'm not worried about it. We don't get emotional about money. Wins, it loses. I roll my eyes. I get annoyed, but we can only if I didn't shave my head, you'd be pulling it out. You can't worry about it. It's good to see you too, and I appreciate you always coming. I know I always comment with you on the YouTube back and forth, but here you are, and I'll give you the shout out on the show. So anybody who comes in, I always try to talk to. I always feel bad when I'm ending the show and people come in and comment. I'm like, oh no, I gotta say hello. But the last game on this ticket, and we'll flip it around. Denver, a 1-point underdog, a total of 41.5. Your Pittsburgh Steelers, boy, I saw one play in this Pittsburgh game today at Green Bay. One play I watched was like 4th down or 3rd down, and it was like a screen pass to Najee Harris. Like, really, a little flare that goes nowhere. Thank you, Big Ben. Proving what I said. I don't care that I lost with you against not my Buffalo Bills. I bet the Buffalo Bills week 1. I don't care I lost that game because since that game when you got lucky, somehow you got a block punt and touchdown. Every game since then, you've proven that your offensive line is still terrible. Not your fault, Big Ben. You're 50 and you're banged up. You're a Hall of Fame quarterback. You're great. Now you're not great. You're a big guy. You got no wide receiver. The wide receivers don't help you because you got a banged up offensive line. And I'm sorry. I'm gonna like Denver here, believe it or not. I'm gonna like Denver.
Absolutely. I don't see this line on my book, but I have this game power ranked as Denver minus 1.5. And I feel like this week was my last straw with Pittsburgh. I feel like this was a decent buy low spot with the Steelers this week. I was obviously wrong. I had them +7. I had them +220 half unit play. Luckily, the only thing that they did do good for me is they scored at the end of the game to make it a 10-point game to cover my teasers. They were a core tease play for me because I had a few teasers. I was screwing around with that today, and the only team that really screwed me up for my teasers was the Houston Texans, and I got them up to like 23 on one of them. So I mean, like, it's one of those type. Yeah, I mean,
I said that game could either be, I said like 36-3 or something ridiculous. Like it's either gonna be a blowout or it's gonna be 23-10, and like Buffalo just kind of plays down, and maybe they cover, maybe they don't. Like, and sure enough, 40-0,
30 or 40-0. Yeah.
Green Bay minus 3.5, total of 49 at the Cincinnati Bengals. For me, it's easy to say Green Bay, right? I see road fave. You want to take Green Bay, right? They're good. Burrow's supposed to be the second coming. I get it. I don't know. I mean, it's Green Bay or nothing for me. I can't even think about taking Cincinnati. I don't think they've graduated to this level of success yet to hang with Green Bay. Although Green Bay sometimes lays eggs on the road. We see them lay eggs sometimes. But maybe not here because it's actually in the north. It's not like they're going to the south where it's going to be warm. It's like Cincinnati. It's like, oh, it's October. It's cool here. It's 40 degrees. We like it. It's kind of cold here. It's kind of like Green Bay. So initially, I'll go Green Bay. You know what? I'm probably looking at the over here. Why do I think this is going to be a wild game? Let's say over for the show here, just for everybody to say, who do you like? I'll say the over.
Yeah, looking at this one for me, I'm seeing Green Bay -3.5, and I'm kind of liking the dog in this one. I had this game powering Green Bay 1.5. You get a nice little home dog in this one with Cincinnati. They're coming in on a long week. They played on Thursday night, so they'll get an extra couple of days to prepare for Aaron Rodgers and these Green Bay Packers. I think Cincinnati's a potential live dog in this game. And I'll probably have +3.5 and +155 in my back pocket in this game. To be completely honest, I think that this is a nice little spot here. You have Green Bay coming in off of a nice win against Pittsburgh, and I think this is a spot where potentially Cincinnati, if they want to prove they can be a halfway legit team, this is a good opponent to do it against. You're going to see a good performance out of Cincinnati. If you're liking the over, I'm probably looking a little bit more towards the Cincinnati team total as well. I still am not a huge fan of this Green Bay defense, so I can see this being a spot where Cincinnati can score some points as well. I think Cincinnati's a live dog in this one.
I think Cincy might come into my Tuesday teaser play with Cincy, just because they do score some. So I'm gonna tease that up. That'll be a 10.5 for me, and I'll see where I go for that. Lost was an awesome show. I watched it 3 times all the way. I watch it, and I told my wife, she's like, what are you watching the show for? I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to see if I missed something. Like,
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Wow, you are a freaking psychopath. That is some crazy. And listen,
execute.
I can roll out some like 80s movie quotes and stuff like that, but man, the number is good for you there. I just look at it like, then I meant like the whole show is like, were they dead? Were they in purgatory? Or, something like that, like the flash sideways and stuff like that. I don't know. I just find it interesting. I
like the flashbacks and the flash forwards and stuff like that. That added a whole new dynamic to that show that we barely saw beforehand.
I saw, I read an article that said that people like, once you get in like your 40s, you kind of like just watch things that you just like, and that's it. You don't kind of branch out anymore. And I'm like, man, I guess I'm getting like that. Because I've always been like, I'm setting my kind of ways kind of guy. Like TV-wise, I watch like Lost, like Terra Nova. Terra Nova was like, I found that Terra Nova, like, wow, I kind of like the show. It was one season. You ever see Terra Nova? About like to go back and like the Dawn of Time. It's like,
I think so. Yeah, I think I've seen an episode or 2 of that.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, so I got that, and I always like to watch Jericho when it was on Netflix. I like my Doomsday like survival shows. So Jericho was a good show I like to watch. Revolution, I like to watch. Of course, like Walking Dead, I can get into. But then old school, I'll go like Miami Vice. I could watch all old Miami Vice episodes. Golden Girls, hilarious, hilarious. Alf. Like the new shows I can't get into. They're all like, hey, we're going to have some kind of contest of like the Masked Singer. Like, what? The Masked?
I can't get into stuff like that, but when I would go back and watch shows that like I'm used to or whatever, my first go-to is Family Guy. Like that's my go-to show.
See, we'll talk about this game in a second. That's the last game on the board for tonight. So I can't do family. If we're doing cartoons, adult cartoons, I'm talking like not good cartoons like G.I. Joe and Transformers and the Littles. It's The Simpsons and maybe an early Simpsons. Not even like the new. Like I'm talking like the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. Maybe sprinkling some early South Park in there. And actually, there was a show called Dr. Katz on Comedy Central, which was hilarious. But yeah, I can't do like the Family Guy, like Bob's. No, it's because it's just. Again, Old Man Yells at Cloud, like it's kind of like just a remake of stuff that we had as kids. Like, I don't know. I just can't do it. What do we think about Vegas? We'll talk about that game in a second there. We'll talk about Vegas in a second time. Wilhelmina, sorry we get off the rails. We could go back in nostalgia. Wilhelmina, like the Packers, brutal teaser. The teaser's money line parlay, took 11-point lead. That's a tough one on a parlay for the Steelers. Oh, the Saints had. I was like, wait a second. Okay, yeah, Saints had this because the Saints were winning that game. That's Oceana game 1-5. Oh my goodness, this is get some mental help going on here. Francisco, thanks. Francisco, you changed your photo. How about that? See, that's why I got a keen eye for stuff like this.
Wow. Yeah, it's usually him with the thumbs up, right?
Yes. I mean, but look at him with these crazy little dogs.
Yeah, and he had a suit in the other one.
Yeah, he was sharp. Now he's like, look, I can be casual guy. Look at me having fun with my pets.
There you go.
Yo, Alf, I'm telling you, 44, right, Alf? Listen, go watch Alf. It is funny. Many Saints in Newark. I'm going to watch that with the wife. We're going to watch that together. Although, I started to rewatch The Sopranos. I couldn't get through it. I'm like, when this show came out, it was great. Now I can't rewatch The Sopranos. I can't do it. I can watch Entourage all day long. Like, I'm going to order HBO Max to watch Entourage. Maybe because I met the guys in Vegas. I don't know. Entourage is funny to me. Family Guy, no. Walking Dead, yes. All right, back to
what we're supposed to be doing.
Usually the Lookahead line show's like 10 minutes. I come in, boom, 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 boom. Here we are.
This is what happens when you have a guest on.
We're nearing an hour. That's all right. We'll wrap this up. We'll be done with these guys in a second. So New England, 7.5 point fave, 41.5 total on the road at the Texans. I got to tell you, I'm going to be looking at Houston here, believe it or not. Even though it's a 7.5er, and I got Belichick versus a backup quarterback or a banged-up rookie quarterback, whoever's quarterback for Texas. Who knows? I didn't even know who quarterback for him today. I got to, look at the numbers there for that. But
Mills?
Was it Davis Mills in there? So
I have no idea. It wasn't pretty. That's all I know.
Yeah, definitely an ugly kind of game here. This game is still 7-6.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Field goal.
And they just forced a fumble. I have it on the side monitor now. I'll give updates on. I
mean, Tennessee. Actually, the Texans hung tough here. They gave up 3 field goals in the second quarter, so it was 16-0. It could have easily been 28-0.
It felt like a very slow death watching that game.
Look at it. So touchdown 7-0 in the first, then a field goal 10-0. Then it's 13-0. Then they hit one and basically time expires 20 seconds, 16-0. 8 minutes in, so basically halfway through the third period, 19-0. Fourth quarter, they score a touchdown, then another touchdown. I mean, slow death by 1,000 pinches.
Field goals, yeah.
Mills, 11 for 21, 4 interceptions. Yikes.
You think he's not going to you're going to have a better performance than that, you got to think.
Well, you think, but then all of a sudden you see this New England defense tonight against Brady, you're thinking, what are they going to do?
It's raining.
Against this guy. And are they going to be spent because this is all they've been focused on, getting ready for this guy to come to town? So I might actually have to take Houston because they look so pathetic.
Absolutely. Absolutely here. This was definitely a dog or pass spot for me in this one. I had this game currently power ranked New England -6. Now I'm going to go through after this game is over, adjust my numbers a little bit. But I do see some value on the Houston Texans in this game. This is a classic letdown spot for New England. They're just coming off of, I heard some people up in New England call this like their Super Bowl. I've heard stories of them watching this game like it was Patriots and Eagles in the Super Bowl, or Patriots fill in the blank there 18 times they went to the Super Bowl. So yeah, it was kind of crazy that this is the game that Belichick has gotten up every single morning this season, ready and circled on his schedule. And I think we see a huge performance here, or I think this is a huge letdown after probably a decent performance here tonight. 7-6, but still, I think this is a classic letdown spot here for New England, even against a Houston Texans team. Now, I'm not saying Houston's going to win this game straight up, but at 7.5, I can only go towards Houston in this line.
Gotcha. Next game up, Vegas, 4.5 point favorite here. Total is 45. I forgot to put the 45 here because it's basically the same 45 on the line here. So Bears, 4.5 point dog to the Raiders. They're coming in. It'll be a Monday night game against the Chargers. I might be looking at the Bears here. Again, looked a little better. Defense travels. Vegas off a Monday night or short week. I'm looking at the dog here first. First initial lean would be on the dog.
Yeah, looking at this one, I have to do a little bit more. My numbers are going to adjust once Vegas plays tomorrow night. So I really got to see what happens tomorrow night for this game. My numbers before today's game, which I'm assuming Chicago's numbers are going to get a little better in my books. So, I mean, I would be leaning towards probably the Bears in this spot. I currently have this game power ranked to Vegas -6.5, but I need to see what the Raiders are going to do tomorrow night, and I'm going to have to go through and look at my numbers again. But this is a spot where this is a wait and see type of thing for me. I'm probably leaning towards Vegas at this moment, but numbers are going to change for me. I know on this one.
Much like the Tennessee game on Saturday, this game was 6.5. The August line was 3.5. Saturday was 6.5, and now we're looking at 4.5. So that's that. So, and again, we kind of piggyback this with the next game. Cleveland Chargers, basically a pick 'em. Again, I'll be looking at the Browns, even off a tough win. Stefanski facing his old team. Here we go. Same thing as Vegas, off of a rivalry game. Who knows what happens? It's going to be a tough battle either way, right? You're going to come out a little, it's a short week, and then you bring in a physical Cleveland team in here. And anytime I get Cleveland out to pick them, I'm going to take a shot with Cleveland on it. They're just that good. They got a disruptor on defense. You got two running backs that could, bowl you right over, and a quarterback who's throw little slants. He's got a bunch of guys to throw the ball to. Tight ends, wide receivers don't make a difference. He can throw to anybody. Got running backs out of the backfield. Give me Cleveland.
Yeah. Once again, I need to see what the Chargers do tomorrow night to really look at this game further. I do have this game lined at a pick 'em, so I think this line is correct. With LA being at home, I think that's a pick 'em is correct on this line. Once again, this is a spot where I need to wait and see before I look to make a play on this one, but initial lean would probably be Cleveland.
Dallas 7.5 points over the Giants, total of 50. In August, this line was 5.5. It was 8 or 8.5 Friday, Saturday. So 7.5 after the Giants win. Your thoughts? Go ahead.
As a Giants fan, I'm looking at the Cowboys in this spot, to be completely honest. I had this game handicapped Dallas -9.5. I think there's a couple points of value here with the Cowboys. I'm still not convinced on this Giants team. I'm probably not going to be convinced with this Giants team the entire season. They had a nice win today. Yes, I didn't expect them to come in and play the way they did. And to be honest, if you didn't put that as your circuit pick, I would probably have a Saints ticket ripped up in my back pocket right now. So, I'm not convinced on this Giants team as long as Daniel Jones treats the football like a hand grenade. And this would be a Dallas or nothing spot for me.
Yeah, you look at it so the Giants had no receivers today, right? I mean, Ross from he was with the Bengals comes in with like a 50-yard touchdown pass.
Saw that.
Even if they get the guys back, people will be like, "Oh, they got these guys back and they just won." Listen, division game last year. These games were two kind of close games. Dak played a half of one game. He didn't play the other game. The year before this, these games were like 35-17 type games. The Dallas offense is as good as any offense in football, and the defense is a solid little unit. It's not bad. It's a decent little unit. Got guys flying all over. They should get it done here. I know this line is always probably a little inflated because they're the Cowboys. It's always going to be that way, but it's again, you're betting on Daniel Jones. The guy's interception or fumbles all over the place.
Yeah. And if you needed any convincing on whether or not Dallas is going to be a halfway decent team, look what they did to that Carolina defense, which I was really high on heading into today's game.
Right. I saw the one stat. My son came down and watched a little bit, and he's like, it came up. They think Carolina was giving up like 45, 50 yards per game rushing, and Dallas had 65 on the first drive or something.
Yeah, it was. Well, Carolina came into the game today leading the NFL, only allowing 191 yards of offense per game.
Yeah, I mean, who did they? The Jets. I mean, again, you got to kind of weigh things. We saw Denver coming in; they looked impressive. It's all who you kind of play sometimes. We've got to take it each game to the next game. And Speaking of next game, Arizona, huge road win today. 4-point fave over San Fran, laid an egg at home. Is San Fran in desperation mode? Cards riding high. The line looks a little low, personally. I mean, like the way Arizona's playing, right? I mean, we had people in here, Murray MVP, coming in the chat. 4? Why isn't this 6? I mean, and when it's at 6, you're saying, oh, Arizona by 7. It should be a touchdown. I think Arizona by 7 should have been the line. I mean, what have we seen out of San Francisco this year? And I like Gucci Garoppolo. I thought, the disrespect he got by them drafting this guy, Len, to come in. You took him to the Super Bowl. You weren't the only guy who fell apart in that Super Bowl. You had the Super Bowl locked up. Granted, he had to make a play. Well, if the defense made a stop if Tyreek Hill ran 15 yards back, nobody's by him. I mean, that should have been a San Francisco Super Bowl win. Don't but now here come the injuries, San Fran. Yeah, it's Arizona for me here. Believe it, even off the big win, and that was a big, nice little win for them. They really took it to the Rams there.
Yeah, that was a nice cash.
Even I think the Rams had like a 4th and goal. They couldn't get in from like the 1. It would have made it. All right, they're alive here. It's score away, whatever. Couldn't do it. I like Arizona.
Yeah, this one probably would be a pass for me. Looking at it right now, you say it's -4 for Arizona. I have Arizona -3. So I see 1 point of value with the Niners. I'm probably not getting involved in this game. I'll probably wait to see if the line moves a little bit, adds a little bit more value on it. But at this moment, I'm probably not making a move on this game.
I got the Bulls up here +3. It's not the Chicago Bulls. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Wow, we're in the NBA already. I know how much you love the NBA. Can't wait for the NBA to start, right?
The Buffalo Bulls from little college action +3 against Kansas City. Total 56.5. Let's be honest. Everybody's going to be all over this over on a Sunday night. And, right? I mean, everybody's going to take the Bills because Kansas City can't stop anybody. They gave up 30 to the terrible Eagles team. Bills are off a 40-0 route. Off a 40-0 game where they had these guys on deck. So even if you're thinking, I'll take the Texans. I'll tease them up. Getting 7. We're getting 24. Bills have KC next week. That's the big game. They'll play down in the sky. It'll be, 30-17. I'll catch it. Yeah, okay, 40-0.
Yeah, the Texans couldn't even cover if you teased them on a 21-point teaser. Give you an idea on that one.
Listen, for me, this game, believe it or not, I've been on Kansas. I would probably in Kansas City here because I think everybody's going to take Buffalo. So I'm going to have to go opposite. Just, as stupid as that sounds, I just can't be out with everybody. I don't like people. Give me the other side.
I'm actually leaning towards a dog in this one. I have this game power ranked Kansas City -1. So I feel like any plus money I can get on this game, that's the side I'll most likely be on, to be completely honest.
I think this is a pickup. This Kansas City defense is not good at all. I mean, you're 3 big, and this is like one of the few NFL teams that has a home field advantage, right? This is one of the few places that you're going to feel it. But let's be honest, the Bills' defense is better, and the offense isn't bad. They got a pretty solid offense, and the coach. I like the coach. I mean, he's right up there with Andy Reid for me. It's not like you got a dummy on that sideline. We talked about, Arians for Tampa. I almost said Arizona, but here's he's a good guy too. So I'm not. Again, I didn't move on this game. I want to see where.
I think the Bills team total can be a decent option as well. The total's 57 for the game though, so that's going to be a high total for team total.
These are going to be in a 27-28 range for sure.
Yeah, you're going to need 30 points in order to cash that. So, I mean, it'd be a look towards Buffalo in this game. I want to see what the team total would be. I highly doubt. I'm going to look on BetStamp, which is where I track all my plays, seeing if they have any team totals. It looks like it's going to be 27.5 for Buffalo. Yeah. 4 touchdowns? I'll probably be looking that way. I'm not a fan of Kansas City's defense. We saw what they let up against the Eagles today.
And I kicked the Eagles back in all-time bad defenses. And and how do you look at it for Kansas City? Like, that's the game they should have came out and said, all right, bad game. That's
what I was hoping for.
If they would have came out and won 17-7, at least you say, you know what, they played some defense. No, it was another wild game. Last game come up, let me hit the chat real fast. Not real fat, because I'm real fat. Called the route. Yeah, you did. You did, King D. I'll fill you out there when you do good. You know that. Dow sent you over. Richie P says against the Giants. Cowboys are pass for King D.
Yeah.
Tim Rose says they're crazy. I would lean normally the games are close.
I'm a Giants fan. I want nothing to do with the Giants. I don't know what you're talking about.
Close, but you got to look at each in a kind of particular fashion there. Like last year they were close because Dak goes out and then you get a backup quarterback. So it's a close game. Before that, the year before, Dallas offense stampede these guys. I think they were 35-17 and 35-16 or 18.
Wasn't particularly close, no.
So you got to see how they're playing before. As much as I'm a Cowboy guy and sometimes like, do I like them to do this? If they're coming off of a huge route and stuff like that's like, stay away. That's inflated lines. They do they play them tough sometimes? I agree, but I can't. That's one of those games I can't. No. If they give
And
me
it's in
Texans
Dallas.
tickets
It's in
given
Dallas.
away, I'm going to the Texans game. Maybe I'll go to Texans game next week.
Whew.
Today, you know what? I bought a ticket for my Sugarland Skeet last game. And I was going to go. It was a 2:00 game. The gates opened at 1. I was going to run over because they were giving out all types of free stuff. You know, the end of the year. So it's like koozies and hats and all type. And I had to go. I had to return a pair of slides for my son. I bought him slides. They were too small, so I ordered them offline. They were 12. I got them like 13. He's got big Fred Flintstone feet. He's like a size 13. They didn't have them in stock over at the Cat. So I was running around. I ended up not going. So I swallowed $60. I wanted to go get my free swag. Because then instead of giving away nice jersey, I could say, hey, here's a Sugarland Skeet hat. It's a medium. Give it to your wife, you know. But I'll go to a Texans game. I might go to a Texans game. Although there was a gun show up in Humboldt I was going to go to. I should have did that instead. Touchdown Tampa Bay. What's the score there? 14-7?
13-7.
13-7? 2-0 on Dak Prescott props. 3-1 to the under this season. Yeah, because they just pound up the total because we saw it in week 1, right, against Tampa. Dallas can score, but the defense is surprisingly good. The defense is surprisingly better for them. Team total, yeah, not team total. His yardage passing, yeah, why not? Because you got 2 running backs that are going to chew up yards. He could have a great game. Yeah, 180 yards passing. They scored 30-something points. Not good for his fantasy stats, but you know what? That's great for the team.
Yeah.
Live bet under the 34.5 people. Get it in.
I don't know. Patriots are driving right now. 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 28.
Oh, really? So that's a tie game. That game. This is a field goal game. This game's going to end 17-16.
I was saying that the public was all over Tampa Bay in this one. Some of the numbers I was seeing, and the line went from 7 to 6.5. The books said, "We want the Patriots." That's what the books were telling you. And
I said this last week. No matter what happened, the ticket was going to come down to Patriots Tampa because everybody's going to tease down the Bucks to pick them.
I teased up the Patriots.
It. So that teasing it down to money lines. So we'll see what happens. Last game on the agenda: Ravens and the Colts. Total of 748. I'm going to look to the Colts here. Believe it or not. I'm still not. I know the Ravens won. I'm still not a fan. I'll look at the 7 here. Actually, I'd rather have. I wish it opened at like 6 because I really like the Colts because everybody would be all over the Ravens. I'm liking the Colts.
Yeah, I need to look at this game a little bit more. I need to get a number for this one. I haven't even looked at a number for this game, to be completely honest. Look at today. Maybe a look on the Colts a little bit. They did look halfway decent. I mean, granted it was against Miami, and I'm not huge on Miami this year, but I don't know. Maybe the Colts could be a halfway decent look in this game.
Real fast before we wrap it up. So Cole is a 115, 8.5 over Evaldi on Tuesday. Scherzer 210 to take back 190 or 185, total 7.5. St. Louis. Both of those games open at 9 and 8 respectively. Immediately bet down 0.5 run. Postseason baseball, folks. Pressure's on. Win or go home. Unders or nothing looks like the play there.
Yeah, and if I had to probably pick 2 teams, it's going to be the Yankees and the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are 100% a live dog. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, I'll probably hop on them. Plus, it's 198. Most likely probably be plus 200, plus 210 by the time we get to first pitch in that game. I think the Cardinals are at 100% a live dog with Adam Wainwright on the mound. I know how great Max Scherzer has been, and this is why the Dodgers went out and got Max Scherzer. Also, they replaced Trevor Bauer with Max Scherzer. Must be nice to be able to replace your Lamborghini with the Rolls Royce, but the spoils of the riches there in MLB. But yeah, I think this is a spot where the Cardinals really have my attention at plus 200. I think they're extremely undervalued in this game. And for the Yankees, I think that this is a straightforward pitching advantage here. I'm not a fan of Eovaldi too much, you can trust Cole. So probably for that wild card game, I'll probably have the Yankees either first 5 or first 5 run line. I've still not yet looked too in depth because these lines just came out. I'm also waiting for the series lines to come out. for betting like the Astros and the White Sox, and then the Brewers and the Braves. I'm looking at potentially having a pretty decent sized ticket on the Astros to win that series against the White Sox. I just don't trust this White Sox team during road games. They are, I think, one of the only playoff teams to have a under 500 record on the road this year. So that's one thing that really shouted out red flag when it comes to playoff betting. I want nothing to do with the White Sox. Other than that, probably a lean towards the Brewers and their series as well. But for Tuesday and Wednesday, probably Yankees and Cardinals for me.
Yep. All right, listen. Thanks for coming in. You're the one who responded to the text.
Hey, I had to. It sounded like fun. I was like, oh, I wanted to do that last week, but we were out and about doing something. I forgot what we were doing, so I was like,
you
maybe
guys
next
are young
week.
guys. I'm the old married guy. In here, I'm watering plants. That's a lie. I don't have any plants. But. All right, listen, everybody. Have a good night. I mean, I don't want you to have too good a night because I'm on the opposite side of you, but whatever.
It is what it is.
One of us is going to win. It's a new day tomorrow.
Yep, exactly.
All Sports. What time do you show tomorrow? 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. We'll be going over Monday Night Football, and we'll be looking at the playoff series betting. We'll be looking at odds for series betting.
Yep, I'll probably a little Monday night, and then we'll talk about baseball.
Yeah.
And then we got NBA regular season. When's NBA regular season start? Another week, right?
Yeah, and it's 9 days for the important sport that's starting, the NHL. So, and I'm excited. On the 14th, I have tickets to Hurricanes Islanders, their opening game, the Hurricanes. So that'll be a fun one.
So that's a Hurricane puck line in the under.
I'm looking more towards the Isles. I think the Isles are for real this year. They've made the semifinals back-to-back seasons, and I think this is their cup or bust year. First year in their new arena. I would probably be looking at if you're betting futures, probably the Isles season win total over, or point total, and potentially to win their division. So I think that this is a legit Islanders team that's going to play really good defense. I think the under is definitely the play for that game. We know how good, whether they go with Varlamov or Sorokin in net, this is a good Isles team. So I think that there's a team to watch this year.
All right, good. I just said Hurricane puck line because I'm thinking their home team. Probably a little bit of a fave. Let's go puck line and take back 165, 180, whatever the case may be. But guess they definitely on the under, though.
Yes.
Sure. All right, brother. Have a good one. Everybody pop it in. Go check out the Earl Sports Show. And then after their show, come in and see me for Midday Money.
Absolutely.
We're out of here.